Rael and Lisa. These are two artists who I have to be honest, I have kind of like passingly listened to and followed, and both have a really interesting place within the music scene. And this song apparently has a writing credit as well from Giga, who's another person who I've come across some songs by and have been very interesting. Usually works with Vocaloid stuff. So there are some names in here that I'm not super familiar with, but I basically, I know a bit about Rael's music. She's got some really good, really catchy songs, but I haven't dived in super deep. Obviously, Lisa is just like an industry legend, but I've got to be honest, of all the industry legends, she's probably the one who I've spent the least time really listening to. She has got some classic songs. I think from what I've heard, I mostly preferred a lot of her like slightly older stuff, but she had a song recently. It was like a weirdly heavy song. I think it was called like Queen or something, which was actually pretty good. Really enjoyed that as well. I think I might be getting the name wrong, but I think it was Queen. And, so we're talking about two artists here who definitely, Rael knows how to bring the good sort of dancey songs. And I think Giga usually kind of goes for like those big beat songs as well. So, I don't know, I'm getting the feeling that maybe we're going to get something with a little bit of colour, a bit of Lisa's sense of fun and Rael's sense of fun, a bit of poppy, high energy beats. Who knows? But that's kind of where I'm coming at this from, as someone who's kind of got a semi-decent knowledge of all three people involved. But I have room to be surprised. And enough knowledge to feel like I might be about to listen to something awesome. One thing I do know is the last couple of Lisa reactions I did, they all got blocked. So you never saw them because I couldn't release them on YouTube. So I hope that if you're watching this, then that's good news. All right, let's go then. So this is Dead Center, spelled the American way, by Rael, featuring Lisa, I should point out. All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, liking the energy. That's a great funky intro, like that dirty bass under there as well. Should have seen that coming. I love that you're really getting to hear Lisa use her voice already. I like how the chord change is included in the chorus, but not in the verse. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I mean, the production as well. Interesting. Suddenly adding a chord pattern in here. That's cool. I like how we're getting these sudden changes. That's kind of a bit of a Vocaloid thing to do, which is... It's lovely how the song's kind of like set up like it's just a producer beat, but there's enough writing going on there to give it a little bit more like a fleshed out variation. And their vocal performances, they go well together. That was really interesting. Do you know what? In a way, I feel like there's nothing in there that should have been surprised. Oh, we're gonna get a little bit of outtake territory. And yet just the way that came together was such a pleasant surprise. Alright, I'll let this play out, but credits and well. Alright, so basically, let's dive in on this one, because this song has a lot going on, and the interesting thing is that at its heart, the song's kind of got a very simple concept, which is that, you know, it comes in with like what you'd kind of describe as being, yeah, it's a beat which has kind of got, I'd say a little bit of rap, a little bit pop. It's kind of got a pop rap feel, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that kind of in the fact that it's got like a beat that's clearly designed to be rapped to. Yeah, it's got space in it. It's not like an overbearing instrumental, but at the same time, it's kind of got this funkiness. It's got a little bit of a sonic identity with that kind of very distorted but slightly high up bass, which is like, it's not too low, it's kind of a bit high up, but it's kind of making this dirty sort of bass melody in the middle of everything. You've got a very clear, distinct beat. It's clearly just giving room for like the vocals to happen. And it starts off with like, Rael does kind of like a simple sort of pop rap over it. And I feel like this kind of rap that she's doing in this song, it's not kind of rap in the normal way. It's more that sort of rap, which is just more about sort of building up the rhythm, kind of getting you sort of like, you know, kind of getting you into the feel of things. It's almost like sort of building up a bit of a chant rather than doing anything too overly rap focused. So you kind of just feel like it's all about setting things up and building things up. And then immediately, just as you're kind of getting into the swing of things, Lisa pops out of a freezer. And do you know what? I've got to be honest, like, this song, obviously, so Rael seems to be the title artist on this, and it's definitely plays to her strength. She does a lot of sort of songs that have these kind of funky, high production beats, and it really works well for her. 99% of the time, that just seems to be a territory that she's very comfortable in. But I was really impressed. Lisa just feels so at home in this. Now, I know Lisa's done lots of different types of songs, but this isn't the sort of music that I would normally associate with her, although she has got certainly a very varied back catalogue. This is not the sort of music I'd usually associate with her. And she just sounds like she's having fun. I mean, in the same way that the beat gives a lot of room for, you know, sort of rhythmic delivery, it seems to also give a lot of room for her just to sort of like play with her voice. You know, she really kind of like goes for those big dramatic notes, and, you know, you can hear the vibrato in her voice. She's having a lot of fun with that. And the way it bounces around between them. And then the interesting thing is that all the way up until the first chorus, the backing is, for all the production, is basically just a riff. You know, it's nothing really more than a riff. And then when we get into the first chorus, sonically not a huge amount changes about the timbre, but then suddenly it goes and you get like a chord change and it builds up. And I think that's kind of interesting, because at first, you know, it's just like... I stand corrected, there is a chord change there. I think maybe it's just not very noticeable at first, maybe because of the fact that, yeah, maybe because there's not a vocal going along with it. Yeah, you're not really getting a chord change in this part. Listen to how much fun Lisa's having with the vocals here. I actually feel like, yeah, the beat kind of drops out there just to give even more room for Lisa to really sort of take control, which is, I love that. Because I love how that chord change there, where it goes down. Yeah, you really feel that chord change because it's such a pronounced change from what the song's really been doing up until that point. But, you know, still the timbre, the beat and everything else kind of feels the same. But that's just that chord change for me really hit. And it also comes in with the chorus, so just everything feels like it really kind of feels like a good, impactful moment there. And then the song goes for a few things. We get a little bit more of the kind of like another one of these sort of pop rap style moments. Loving that she's in front of a ramen shop. Where is this? I can't quite see. And this is the bit where, again, you know, we go from Rael's kind of rap bit to Lisa's bit. And again, the song's just kind of having so much fun with Lisa's part. Because with Rael, all it needs to do is give her a proper thumping beat so she can just kind of like build up a really cool rhythm over it. But with Lisa, it's kind of like the song's giving her a lot of room with these kind of fun, crazy, strange little deviations. And this is kind of where I wanted to point out that. So I'm not super familiar with Giga, but I know that Giga has been behind a few songs that I like. I know that much. I'm going to have to really get more familiar with his back catalogue. But this is why I mentioned about the sort of the Vocaloid mentality. I think a lot of people think of Vocaloid writers and they think of them in a very negative way. Because it's like, oh, yeah, working with like, the Hatsune Miku style, oh, it's fake vocals, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the time, what it really is if you're a Vocaloid writer, it's kind of like the bedroom writers of old, where you're just writing music on the computer. And again, that might sound like an overly simplistic thing, but it's actually a real art form, because it's like, what do you do when you're unrestrained and you can literally put any notes you want in? So a lot of the most creative songwriters are coming up through that space. And so you hear something like this, and, a Vocaloid producer, songwriter will often know how to create really good sounds, because again, they can produce any sound, not just notes. So you get something like this has got a really thick, interesting, kind of fun sound, but then he knows how to play around you. He's throwing in these little changes, these little deviations where there'll be like strange kind of fun sounds come in. And to me, that is the demonstration of someone who's come up through this style of writing, this discipline of writing, which is so free and where you just kind of get used to playing around and doing silly, freeing, fun things on the beat. And what I love is that I can imagine, I don't know the order this happened, but I can imagine him presenting this little part of the song and then Lisa going, oh yeah, I'm just going to sing high over the top of that. And then, that goes back around. The chorus is really cool in this. This is a song that, to me, what I like about this most of all is it's overflowing with a sense of joy. And it has just enough like artistic, clever ideas in it to make it seem like something more than just a throwaway collaboration. It genuinely feels like a song that's born of like a really fun, interesting idea where everyone came together and they created it with, rather than any big, high ideas, this just felt like something that came together with a sense of fun. You get some collaborations where they feel kind of very necessary, like two artists are just like, well, we're friends, everyone expects us to do a collaboration. They do the collaboration, it just kind of more feels like they were just like, oh, well, we know each other, so we should put something together. And then you get some collaborations where you feel like they're worked on for ages and some like high-minded thing comes out of it. But then you get some collaborations like this where it's like, okay, this probably didn't take like weeks and weeks to work out. This was probably a song that was put together. From my experiences working with like some of the creatives who I've most enjoyed working with in the studio, this is the sort of song where this could have probably come together entirely in one evening. I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened, but I wouldn't be surprised if it came together in one evening and you just sit around in the studio and you put together the ideas. Maybe you got the crux of like a beat and it just builds into this, and like someone's like, oh, what if I do this? And then Lisa gets behind the microphone and just does like a crazy little high vocal, and everyone's just playing around and having fun. And that to me is so much joy. So often I hear people talk about live music, which I get. I've worked with live music. I love live music, but I always feel like everyone's love for live music seems to be at the detriment of their love for a good studio a song that's created in the studio just by tinkering and having fun. The same way that I feel like a lot of people speak in a sort of negative way of Vocaloid writers, because that kind of stuff is not seen as pure enough. But I hear something like this and I hear the purity of musical joy. The purity of creators who, this just sounds like they had a lot of fun making this. And the result comes through, it transfers in, not every time you have fun making something does it necessarily make a good product. But if you can transfer that fun you're having into the experience for the listener, as I think is happening here, then I think everyone has a good time and everyone gets to experience the fun you had creating it. So for me, this just feels like a bundle of fun, and I feel like the music video does a great job of conveying that as well. Windows XP forever. Love it. So great job. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys did as well. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon for the next one, Lise, for now, ciao, ciao.